My name is Kylie Jensen. I'm a psychologist. I currently work in private practice and I do therapy with people who have mental health concerns. I specialize in helping people through what we would call faith transitions or faith crises. So these are people who've come from maybe years and years of long-held religious beliefs, and for whatever reason, they're going through changes to those or challenges to those, and that can be very emotionally distressing for a person. One of the biggest struggles for sure that I've seen is that people don't feel like they have the space to be really open about that re-examination. And my goal as a therapist and as a person is certainly not to dissuade someone entirely from all their beliefs and make them start completely over. I just want to help them find the way to occupy whatever beliefs and values those are in a way that's going to be most congruent and psychologically healthy for them. Some of the primary emotions I recall feeling were fear-based emotions or anxiety-based sensations of what if and what does it mean that I'm even having these thoughts. I grew up LDS in a pretty intensely religious family. Coming through my college undergrad years into graduate school is when I first developed this sort of like inkling or itchy sensation that I couldn't quite scratch, that maybe not everything was perfect or the way I thought it was with my long-held religious beliefs. I feared what it meant that I was considering turning away from something that I was taught was the capital T truth. People go to therapy when they disaffiliate from their religion because it is super complicated and it's often very highly emotional, very distressing, very destabilizing, disorienting. From one moment to the next or from 1 year to the next, however long it takes, an entire paradigm gets turned upside down or obliterated so that it doesn't even exist anymore. Meaning that was once provided, questions that were once answered very nicely and cleanly, now suddenly it's messy. That's a huge emotionally taxing, psychologically stressful process to go through. And that's before we even get to, well, what does it mean for community and family and relationships and all the places where an individual intersects with things and people that they care about. It is just such an immensely complicated, potentially difficult process that it's not surprising to me that this is something that a lot of therapists are working with right now. And so one of the first and most important things I do as a therapist to help someone who's going through a faith crisis or transition is to make space for them. I want to provide a 100% non-judgmental, growth-inducing, expansion, exploring, facilitating environment where they can talk about any of their fears, questions, doubts, where they can explore the costs to changing their mind about things, where they can figure out where they want to settle. I want to give them the space and time to really do that as thoroughly and as much time as they need. And that's not something that's easy to find, actually. Plenty of the people I work with are in a state of transition or crisis, but I don't know where that's going to take them. And it's not my job to even direct them in any certain direction, other than in the direction that is going to be most psychologically healthy for them. And so for plenty of people, that means a maybe renegotiated place still within the faith of their upbringing. Plenty of the people I work with end up still in their church or in their religion, but maybe in a new way where they can participate more authentically, or where they've been able to reconcile certain things that were causing them emotional dissonance or difficulty. Absolutely, the number one thing I would say to someone who's going through a crisis or questioning or re-examination is, trust me, you are not alone, especially now. There are maybe more people than in a long time that we know of that are asking similar questions, that are re-examining what they've been raised to believe. And in a high involvement religion like the LDS faith, it can feel like you're alone because everyone seems to portray that it's all working for them and that they have no questions and that their knowledge is 100% sure. But working as a therapist for as long as I have in the environment in which I have, I can promise you there are more people than you might imagine, and some that might surprise you, that are similarly questioning or have been through a period of examination and questioning.